According to the United Nations, over 385,000 babies are born every day, with approximately 140 million babies born globally each year. This number will be largely steady during the next 60 years. If we continue at this rate, the world's population will be roughly around 11 billion in 60 years. The world as a whole might become too crowded. So, let us ban all babies for the next 55 years. This is Prosper Whitestone, aka Mr. White. Remember, they won't teach you this in school. What actually would life look like if we outrightly stop reproducing? And what will happen when the baby ban is lifted? As strange as it may sound, global reproduction rate has begun declining already. And increasing numbers of individuals choose to be childless. If everyone on earth decisively ceases having children, the human race will become extinct within a century. But suppose that we just stop all new births for half of that period. Would we be able to survive another generation as a human race? Obviously, there would undoubtedly be some bad consequences. Bringing an end to having children certainly would alter life as we know it. A significant number of adults still desire to have children. If you happen to be one among them, the baby ban could give you mental illness. The friction among people who really desire babies and those who do not wish to have babies have the potential to erupt into a major conflict. And people in their large number will take up the streets. There could also be major financial consequences. Consider how many individuals are in the job of ensuring the well-being of kids, nutrition, and education. If the very last baby in 55 years have been delivered in January of 2024, all of these employees could continue to be required for the next 7 years. After that, everything related to babies would be deemed unnecessary and pointless. Entire industry would shut down. Millions of jobs are at risk of being lost. However, not everything will turn out terrible in a world without having children. Having no children would also allow you to dedicate yourself to saving a great amount of money. And if everybody did this, the world would have a better social welfare system. If you didn't have to pay for your children's clothing, meals, and nutrition, you will keep more money to yourself. You may even witness an increase in equal rights if women were no longer under cultural obligations to provide child care for kids. They could devote greater amount of time to advancing their own lives and career. The ecosystem would also gain greatly from this. This is because the demand for both food and water is going to decline. If no babies were born for 55 years, the Earth's population would fall to approximately 4 billion people. This is almost the same worldwide population that we had in 1987. But don't forget, the banning of not having babies will not remain forever. Once the 55 years period has been wrapped up and we began having babies again, the world could become very chaotic. Recall how I mentioned that 140 million babies are born every year. Those babies would now be tasked with repopulating what is left of the human species. Now, the world's youngest woman would be 55, and at age 55, the probability of effortlessly conceiving are only 5%. So, Instead of 140 million babies, we probably have only 500,000 in the very first year. Except we spend that 55 years developing in vitro fertilization technology, or what we call artificial womb. There would be numerous health threats for these babies and their mothers. Mothers would most likely undergo delivery by cesarean section. Children would also be at risk of developing learning difficulties and chromosome-related disorders like Down syndromes. And because of big section of the older population would have died, there would be just few people left who knew how to care for newborns. Our knowledge and skills of child care services will be primarily theoretical. Perhaps after 55 years of not having to deal with babies, we might not want to begin having children at all. We might decide that human beings have lived long enough on this planet, and you might end up being among the last people on the planet. If you enjoyed this video, do well to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to see videos like this when next we upload. As always, my name is Prosper Whitestone, and I won't teach you this in school. Till I come to your screen again next time, stay out of trouble.